Challenges in domain analysis. Now, there are several challenges related to domain analysis when we want to study bilingualism in terms of language shift and language maintenance. Now, if it is so difficult, then why do we need domain analysis? Now, we don't need to forget that domain analysis has actually facilitated our understanding of bilingualism itself and of language choice. So, it has enabled us to embed individual language choices within group language choices and to see how they are at times stable and at other times they shift. They also enable us to organize data. So if you would remember the 9 domains that we talked about, it helps you to categorize data. Now, depending on which domains you choose, then studying bilingualism or coming to this understanding that there is a maintenance or shift within that domain becomes easier because you have categorized your data accordingly. It also helps you not to make sweeping generalizations. So you study a language being used or language choices being used in within a playground, and then you move on to say that whether there is a shift or not a shift across the whole population. So that could be a problem, and domain analysis helps you to avoid exactly that. Because what it shows is that when language shift occurs or when language is stable, for instance, then even it might be different in different domains. And even then, it might be different within the different aspects of that domain. So it has given us an awareness that certain domains are more resistant to change than others. For example, family or the language used in family, the choices that are being made might be more resistant than other domains. For instance, in the workplace that are being made, they are more liable to change with political changes because they are more responsive to the changes around them. Having said that, even if you take a family and you're studying the domain of family, one needs to keep in mind that it is best study in dyads. So we can't just study language use being there by different people. It is interesting to take them in dyads and see what language is being used by fathers as they talk to mothers or to their own parents, and what language choice is being made when they are talking to the children, or what language choices are being made among the children themselves. Now, this is all quite complex. In any case, it helps us understand that certain domains are resistant to change. For instance, let's take the example of religion. So think of Pakistan also. For instance, most of the time the language of the religion in the urban areas is Urdu. But in case you make a deliberate choice, you could change the language of the religion, and then there will be a configuration of the domain. Now, domain analysis has also facilitated our understanding and our distinction between compound bilingualism and coordinate bilingualism. It has enabled us to see how people at first shift their meanings into another language and how they become then coordinate bilinguals and use the two languages with facility, using the same semantic structures or underlying meaning that are there. So domain analysis challenges which are nevertheless there pertain to methodology and data collection, because this means that you need to go out in the field and actually collect data in the field as the language is being naturally spoken across different people and the choices they are sort of making. So linguistic variants may gain more if you put them in a socio-historical context, in a socio-cultural context. So if you go out and collect this data regarding who is talking, who is using what language, talking to whom, talking about which topics, what is the setting or situation, in any case, your understanding will only become more comprehensive if you relate this data to a socio-historical context and to the socio-cultural context itself. All this actually makes this domain analysis quite complex. So change in language choices at different points in time are also very interesting thing to do, but they are complex. So what we are saying is, in case you are interested to study something like language shift and language maintenance, you need to be ready for the complexity that is there.